So it is the Bettridges of Foxdale 600cc challenge race we have got coming up in a minute, and it's number 4 on pole position is Mike Brown. On the Boyce Engineering position by Russell Racing Yamaha machine. Alongside him is number 12, that is Joe Yeardsley, and alongside him number 22, that is Paul Jordan. Row number 2 is number 2 Dominic Herbertson, number 10 Peter Hickman, and number 15 that's Nathan Harrison. Row number 3, number 44, that's Rob Hodson. We got number 11 in there as well. 11 is Connor Cummins, and number 7, Michael Evans. Row number 4, 65, Michael Sweeney. Next to him, number 9, that's Barry Ferber, and number 95, Eddie Wormold on the 750 GSXR Suzuki of the Woodworm Racing Team, the rider from Ampthill. 91 is on row number 5. 91 is Julian Trummer. 92 next to him is Jamie Williams, and then next to him is number 5, that's Paul Cassidy. Row number 6, number 50 in there. Number 50 is Dave Rigby. Number 54, that's John Marsh. And we just heard from him then with Beth, Joey Lambden, number 56. Row number 7, 101, that's Martin Morris. Number 8, also in there, that's Dan Sale. And number 77. 77 is, of course, Daniel Pearson. Row number 8 is number 100. That is Damien Crook. Number 86. That's Andrew Coulter, newcomer, of course. Number 30 next to him, completing row number 8. Number 30 is Nicholas Round, another newcomer. 88, another newcomer, Brad Byrne on his R6, the Crook rider. He's on row 9. With 26 next to him, that is Dennis Booth from Ballymena. Then number 20 next to him, Wayne Avis, the local man from Braddon, completes row 9. And then to row 10, 30 starters scheduled for this Bettridges of Foxdale 600cc challenge race. Is number 27 is Tom Snow. Number 72, that is Matthew Rostron, and number 67, that is Adrian Hodson. So a big grid, Beth, of riders. I get a chance. Could we give Auntie Jill a wee plug for Road Racing Ireland? Not a problem at all. So Road Racing Ireland will be on sale with all the details of the Southern 100 in the August issue. Let's get to Beth down in the paddock. Any action yet, Beth?
Well, lots of machines being started up here, but I'm just going to talk to local man Paul Cassidy. Obviously, very close to your home ground here. What's your thought ahead of this one?
Yeah, looking forward to it, to be honest with you. Just sort of, we've been struggling a little bit with the Ducati with the suspension. The rear shock, I don't know if it's getting too hot or what, but yeah, it's sort of out the tight stuff. It's sort of it's squatting and wheeling too much, so we're just not really getting the drive. But yeah, hopefully it's better. We've gone a little bit harder with it now. We can stop it wheeling, we, drive forward and just keep sort of progressing a little bit.
We keep talking about how brilliant the weather is, but I wonder how much of a factor that plays in your machine setup.
Yeah, well, obviously the tyres. I was noticing coming into Ballabeg Hairpin there, you can see the tarmac where the boys and like the trucks and the cars have been hitting it. And when you get that black sort of sticky tar starting to come out, there's that on the line there a little bit on the left-hand side by the curb. So whether or not the other lads are sort of picking up on that, I don't know. But that's the sort of things I look for.
Hope it goes really well for you this afternoon, Paul.
Cheers, thank you.
That is Paul Cassidy, and let's see if we can say hello to Tom Snow here, who's just limbering up very quickly. Sorry, Tom. How you're always thrilled when I turn up with my microphone, aren't you? Absolutely delighted. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm seeing my son playing on bikes in the Isle of Man. What more can you want?
Do you know, we keep talking about this. The Boulogne course is really something special. And do you remember your first time out here?
No, because it was a long time ago. Far too long ago. I should have learnt by now.
How has Southern 100 2026 shaped up, though?
Yeah, it's been good. It's been good. We're slowly getting used to this bike now. It's just fun, isn't it? So.
Really is. We'll let you get going. Thank you so much. That is Tom Snow there. And you also mentioned Wayne Avis, who's another of our local riders here. He is very distinctive in his leathers. Hello, Wayne. How are you feeling this afternoon?
I'm all right. Not bad. You?
Not too bad, thank you. Well, very quick. Obviously, the klaxon's going. You need to go. Southern 100 going so far. Okay?
Yeah, good. We made the A race, in the challenge race now. Buzzing. Excited to be here.
Brilliant. Have a great one, Wayne. That is Wayne Avis, and you can just hear the klaxon in the background. Dale Brew is just wandering up here. Has it all settled in, that podium win yet?
No, I'm still a bit speechless.
You do look a bit shocked.
Just trying not to swear on radio.
Well, you did very, very well.
Yeah, I'm still trying not to swear on radio.
We'll move away. Thank you very much. Dale Brew was just going over there to have a quick chat with Wayne Avis just ahead of the start of this race. I can see Nick Round, another of our newcomers here, just getting ready as well. Very much a family affair for him. He's got his dad holding the bike there, but this is going to be a big race, as you said, Chris. 30 starters in here. Nobody heading out through the gate yet, but we'll let you know as soon as they do.
And Beth, just to bring you in on this, and I know there's a bit of a delay when we speak to each other, it's busy down there at the paddock. You were up here at the start line at lunchtime, a lot of people around?
Yeah, loads, which is absolutely brilliant, isn't it? We knew it was going to be busy today. The weather always helps, of course. That is the klaxon for the 1 minute sign going up there. But yeah, it's just brilliant. And I remember when I was at Castle Rushen High School, we always used to love it because you'd get the afternoon off. I don't know if that still happens, but if it does, then that's definitely something to appreciate as the kids as well. And you see a lot of youngsters going out as Damien Crook just goes past us here just to make his way down to the dummy grid. So we're going to see all the bikes coming through now. Paul Cassidy just rolling on down over the grass there, looking very composed and relaxed. As I say, he knows this stretch of the island extremely well, as he lives pretty near here. And there's always a mix of people either riding their bikes out or having them pushed out for them, Chris. But yeah, this is going to be a great one, isn't it?
Yeah, 30 riders scheduled to come to the start, 3 groups of 10. Just a reminder before we do get underway with today's racing, we're scheduled to go at 1:50 on this one. There is a 2-day meeting up at Derby this weekend if you'd like to pop yourself up there. Saturday and Sunday we will have the race day. So let's look at these Supersport races so far. The S&S Motors Supersport race won by Mike Brown a bit earlier on by about 3 seconds, and Paul Jordan with Dominic Herbertson coming home in third and Nathan Harrison fourth. Joe Yeardsley in that 5th position on the 12 bike, then 10 Peter Hickman, 44 Rob Hodson, 95 Eddie Wormold, number 9 Barry Ferber, 7 Mikey Evans, 11 Connor Cummins in 11th, then Julian Trummer, Jamie Williams, Paul Cassidy, Dave Rigby, John Marsh, Joey Lambden, who we heard from earlier on, as we said, Wayne Avis, Tom Snow, Nicholas Round, Adrian Hodson, Rad Hughes, Paul Cranston and Brad Byrne. There were your finishes. And then in the earlier Supersport race, the H&H Motorcycles Supersport race, again, it was the same top 3 really, with Mike Brown taking the win by 5.44 seconds that time from, of course, Paul Jordan, who in turn had about 4 seconds back to Dominic Herbertson in that 3rd place. Then it was Nathan Harrison, Joe Yeardsley, Peter Hickman, Michael Sweeney, Connor Cummins, Eddie Wilmore, Barry Ferber and Michael Evans, Jamie Williams, Julian Trummer, John Marsh, Joey Lambden. Big fields, aren't they? 52 Mark Jackson, Matthew Rostron, Kieran Brocky, Rad Hughes, Nick Round, Adrian Hodson, Tom Snow, Brad Byrne, must mention them. All the newcomers have done so well. Paul Cranston in there, Wayne Avis, all getting through. And of course Rob Hodson had that spectacular load of smoke that came out of the machine, and then we did find out from the clerk of the course that it was a little bit of steam that came out, and that's the reason why he stopped the night one. But we are ready to go with our friends of Bettridges of Foxdale, the car sales Supersport race. 7-lap distance on this, just shy of 30 miles, is 29.75 around this 4.25 mile Motor Isle Balloon circuit. You're listening to Manx Radio Motorsport, powered by Ellen Vannin Fuels, and like Beth said earlier on, there is, of course, lots of content on the Manx Radio Facebook page. So lots of you to see there. There's lots of pictures taken from the start line as the machines make their way out onto the 4.25 mile Motor Isle Balloon course. And we now must say a very good afternoon to our friends on King of the Roads TV. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are watching this. I know there's people watching and listening all over the world on this one. Paul Jordan on pole from Mike Brown and Joe Yeardsley. That is row number 1. Row number 2 is Dominic Herbertson, Nathan Harrison and Michael Evans. So that should be an interesting young guns there coming through. But Paul Jordan is going to have Mike Brown. He's got to try and tag on the back of him as Paul. He did say early on he got out the right side of the bed this morning, but he's got to chase down Mike Brown. Row 3, Peter Hickman, Rob Hodson, Michael Sweeney. That's a pretty good row 3. And row 4, Marcus Simpson, Connor Cummins and Barry Ferber. That completes your row number 4. Barry, of course, on the Robinson Timber Triumph machine. Going over to grid position number 5. That, of course, is headed by number 91. That will be, of course, Julian Trummer on that machine, alongside Julian Trummer with Eddie Wormwald and Jamie Williams. They're in there as well. You got to look out for those guys. And we just heard from Paul Cassidy on the Pellebrue racing machine. That machine looks fantastic. If you do have a little wander around the paddock a little bit later on, have a little look at that machine, the Pellebrue machine of number 5, Paul Cassidy. Then it's Dave Rigby and John Marsh. Then it's Paul Cranston, Mark Jackson, Joey Lambden, Wayne Avis, Nick Round and Matthew Rostron complete row number 8. Let's get the build up for this one then. Cross 4 ways and Rob.
Yep, so the leaders on the way through on this site. Yep, Julian Trummer leading the field here. I'm just trying to keep an eye out if he's in there for Michael Sweeney, because he was a non-starter in the Supersport race earlier today. Joey Lambden, who we've just heard from, is in there. Tom Snow, Matthew Rostron, Peter Hickman on the way through as well. There's Mike Brown and Paul Jordan. Yeardsley. We're seeing this already, aren't we? I think that was Michael Sweeney on the way through there towards the back. We're seeing some of the front runners in these Supersport races as the travelling marshals come through, sitting at the back of the convoy at the moment as they go on these sighting laps. They'll then have to weave their way through the rest of the field. Just a quick mention, obviously we've mentioned his name multiple times for his efforts in qualifying, but Matthew Rostron, so he did actually put something out on social media during the break between the sessions. The reason he didn't finish the previous Supersport A race was he had a very minor tip-off over at Ballabeg. He said that he and the bike were absolutely fine, so that's the main thing there. Both were absolutely fine, so he's obviously managed to get things sorted and he's back out in this race starting from the back row. But Mike Brown, he has been in control at the moment in the Supersport races at the moment, the Supersport A races, but you can just see it, can't you? The likes of Joe Yeardsley and Paul Jordan are certainly not going to, well, they're going to make sure that there's no quarter given there, aren't they? It's not just going to be handed on a plate to him. Dominic Herbertson in there as well. Peter Hickman, who's just getting to grips on the Swan racing machine. Back to you, Chris.
Yeah, good setup there, Rob Pritchard. Thank you very much to you out there at Cross 4 Ways. Really looking forward to this one as the riders drop into position there now. I think you see 95 Eddie Wilmold there on his machine. Eddie on the Suzuki GSXR 750. And of course, they can run the next gen bikes here, hence why we've got the Ducati Panigales. No starter though for Michael Dunlop on number 6, unfortunately. Michael Dunlop not making the start of this. He is down in the entry list, but he's not. As Peter Hickman on the 10 machine, the Triumph, the Swan Racing by PHR Performance machine into his position, and Joe Yeardsley had a good battle with him a little bit earlier on in the 600 race. He rolls into the middle of the front row in his position now, and there is Mike Brown on pole with Paul Jordan on the, as you look at the track, the right hand side. So it's 4, 12 and 22, and we're ready to go just about there now. Hopefully everybody going to get into the correct position. We're going to get the green flag in the back, which we do. Engage gear, watch the lights. Here we go, Thursday afternoon racing. Everybody safely away and a good start by the front row. Beth.
This is the most incredible sight, a brilliant start for number 12 then. Number 12 was absolutely flying down here, Chris.
Yeah, it's Joe Yeardsley that has the early lead. So Joe Yeardsley into first, Mike Brown into second, Peter Hickman into third, Paul Jordan in fourth. And then it's number 7 is Mikey Evans, who's made a good start. Mikey Evans in about 5th position there, but a good start by the number 12, Joe Yeardsley. Won the twin race the other night, yesterday. Seems an age ago, doesn't it? But he's leading this one now on the 12 machine, of course, riding the Suzuki GSXR for the Spinarena.net team. And he leads after lap number 1. Well, lap number 1 of 7 is underway. They're a 9 gate. Just seen Connor Cummins go through there. So Joe Yeardsley, Mike Brown. A good start for Peter Hickman as well. So Peter Hickman in 3rd place, and just behind him is Paul Jordan as they break to Ballabeg for the first time. Then it's Mikey Evans. Just in behind Mikey Evans, it's 2 Dominic Herbertson. Then it's 9, then it's 65 Eddie Wormold. Gives way to Connor Cummins, who just gets up the inside of him here now. So now they're on the far side of the circuit. They're away from Ballabeg and they're into Ballawhetstone. The fast right-hander. Then straighten the bike up. Look out for the hay bales on the wall on the exit there. Kiss the bike to the right-hand side to the track there now, over the top of Williams, Exeter Williams, in and out of Ballown Dip, and heading towards Rob Pritchard, that 1 of 7.
Indeed, we can hear them. Here we are. There's 3, 4 making the first manoeuvres. It is Joe Yeardsley. Leads number 4, Mike Brown. Peter Hickman to 3rd, Jordan. Then it's Evans, Herbertson looking at the inside further. There is Sweeney. So he is a start in this race. There's Connor Cummins, Williams and Wormold. Rigby on the way through. 4 more, including Julian Trummer. Joey Lambden moving toward the front of the field here. There's Daniel Pearson and Andrew Coulter as well. 4, 5, 6 more in this massive field of Supersport machines through Cross 4 Ways on this opening lap. So it was still Joe Yeardsley leading across 4 Ways on the opening lap from number 4, Mike Brown. He's made that really good start as Joe Yeardsley on the way through. Peter Hickman up from the 2nd row up into 3rd at the moment, but still virtually nothing to separate the leading group as they make their way through, compact as we would expect at this point, this early point in the race, I should be saying. But again, Joey Lambden moving up toward the top of actually going to go to you, Chris.
Mike Brown has got the lead. The number 4 machine has got in the lead of Joe Yeardsley. Peter Hickman in third. And it's Paul Jordan in fourth. Here we go. Then we got 7. Michael Evans in there. Michael Evans home in 5th place at the moment. So it's Brown from Yeardsley, from Hickman, from Jordan, from Evans. And, well, I tell you what, Paul Jordan's having a little look there at Peter Hickman. Thought better of it. The Rib Ballachagan. Mike Brown leads by 0.165 from Joe Yeardsley. An opening lap time of 2 minutes 25.7 for Mike Brown, 104.951. And the jostling for position, 2 abreast as they go along down the Iron Gate straight towards Iron Gate. The travel the marshals go through. So it's Brown, Yeardsley, Hickman, Jordan, Evans, Herbertson, Sweeney, Ferber, Cummins, Williams, Wormold, Rigby, Trummett, Marsh and Cassidy. And yeah, excellent stuff there. No number 15, no Nathan Harrison. He hasn't made the start. But the leader's already blasting through into Ballabeg Hairpin. It's Mike Brown that leads on the 4 bike from 12, from 10 and 22. Then it's 2 Dominic Herbertson on the triumph. Then it's 7. Another triumph for Mikey Evans. Just behind Mikey Evans, Dominic Herbertson having a good little battle with Michael Sweeney in there as well. You did mention to keep a little eye out to Michael Sweeney. The gap between Brown and Yeardsley across the line was 0.165 of a second. It's lap number 2 of 7 of the Bettridges of Foxdale car sales Supersport race here on a sun-kissed Isle of Man at the Southern 100 2026. And Paul Jordan getting a bit squirrely on the top on the entrance to Ballown Dib. Cross 4 ways, lap 2.
So the leading 4 have made a bit of a break from the rescue. It's Brown who leads Yeardsley, who leads Hickman, who leads Jordan. So the front 4 just starting to eke away. There's Dominic Herbertson, Michael Evans and Michael Sweeney, then Barry Ferber and Connor Cummins, and then J.B. Williams. More together now. Eddie Warmold just pulling clear of David Rigby, and then Julian Trummer, Paul Cassidy, and then the number 54 of John Marsh, number 56 Joey Lambden trying to stay in touch as well. Number 77, Daniel Pearson, second place earlier in the day for him. And number 86, another newcomer, Andrew Coulter. Nicholas Rounds, Damien Crook, then 67, 72, 20, Wayne Avis. And number 51, Radley Hughes on the way through. Dennis Booth, Tom Snow. And number 88, Brad Byrne through as well. Another one of the newcomers here at the Southern 100 this year. So it was Mike Brown leading through cross 4 ways, just ahead of Yeardsley, Hickman, and also Jordan keeping in close attendance. To you, Chris.
Mike Brown making the front of that number 4 machine rattle a little bit on braking, but here they come, line astern. It's 4:12, 10 and 22. So quick across the line. There's Dominic Herbertson goes through. It's Hickman with the quickest lap of the race so far. 2 minutes 20.055. 2 minutes 20, 109.24 for Hickman. The lead at the front. Oh, Joe Yeardsley had a little look at Ballachagan. It's a 0.188 of a second. That's all it is between Mike Brown and Joe Yeardsley. And it's 0.5 back to Hickey, then nothing back to Paul. 0.5 back to Hickey and 0.2 back to Paul Jordan. Tell you what, this is anybody's race as riders continuing to stream through. So it's Brown, Yeardsley, Hickman, Jordan, Herbertson, Evans, Sweeney, Ferber, Cummins. Then it's Williams, Wormold, Rigby, Trummett, Cassidy and Marsh. Only got time to give you the top 15 at the moment, so we go back to the front. It is Mike Brown who leads this race, looking for the Supersport hat-trick, and here he comes, breaking into the Ballabeg hairpin. So tricky into there. You've got to watch the curb on the left-hand side that juts out, and then swing the bike to the right-hand side and get through that little rise in the road that you have there. Oh, Mikey Evans better watch out. He's got Miko Sweeney right behind him, Baz Ferber, and we got 11 in there, Connor Cummins on the Mad Bros machine. And I was talking about Gary McCoy, who had that accident at TT. Gary is here. Gary, hope you're enjoying your time at the Southern 100. But back at the front, Mike Brown, the lead, 0.188 he has over Joe Yeardsley. But Hickman, he's the fastest man on track. Let's get back to Rob, lap 3.
Dropping down into the dip once more, still not much between the leading 4. It is Brown, Yeardsley, Hickman and Jordan. So no change in the order through cross 4 ways on this lap. Dominic Herbertson, who we know had moved up a place on the previous lap, he's a couple of seconds behind that group, but he's pulled well clear of Michael Evans, who, as Chris mentioned, he's being reeled in by Michael Sweeney. Connor Cummins looking up the inside of Barry Ferber. There's Jamie Williams. As Connor Cummins held that through cross 4 ways, he has. So Connor Cummins moving up race as Warmold goes past. Cassidy, there's Marsh, and there's Rigby, and then Joey Lambden as well on the way through as well. That little trio just starting to spread out a little bit more, and then moving away a few seconds from number 77, Daniel Pearson, who's all on his own at the moment, coming through cross 4 ways. So no change at the front as they came through cross 4 ways, as Coulter and Round on the way through. Good running from the newcomers here. It was still Brown leading from Yeardsley, Hickman and Jordan on through cross 4 ways on this latest lap. Over to you, Chris.
Hard on the brakes in the Castletown corner, the right-hander there, which brings you back onto the main bypass here, and Joe Yeardsley is winding up. Joe Yeardsley's right on the back of Peter Hickman and Paul Jordan in there too, but it's Mike Brown that still leads. Quickest lap of the race, 2:18.956. It's Peter Hickman, quickest man on track. Mike Brown leads by 0.101, so it's come down by a couple of hundredths there. Paul Jordan through, Dom Herbertson through, Michael Sweeney through, Mikey Evans through, Connor Cummins, Baz Ferber, Jamie Williams all through too, all going well. Change at the front? No, there isn't. Just the sun is glinting off the fairway, which we are not complaining about at all. But it's Brown that leads his last lap at 2:19.099. Just over 109 mile an hour. The pace, lap record pace for this is a 2:15.8. That's Davy Todd has that one from last year, 112.6. So we get back to Ballabeg Hairpin as we watch our leaders coming in there. And I thought there were the two in third and fourth, Hickman and Jordan, are just dropping back a little bit, but they're not. They are holding station with them. So it's Brown, Yeardsley, Hickman, Jordan, Herbertson, Evans, Sweeney, Cummins, Ferber, Williams, Wormold, Julian Trummer, and then it's Cassidy, Marsh, Rigby, Lambden, Pearson, Coulter. They go through Round, Hodson, Rostron and Clarkey. Top 22 runners so far. We are already on lap number 4 of 7, and it's number 4, Mike Brown, who leads Joe Yeardsley as they go in and out of Ballown Dip. Back to Rob.
Here they are, the leading quartet. It is still Mike Brown holding off Joe Yeardsley. Just pulled out another bike length or so with Hickman and Jordan in behind as well. Still, I mean, we obviously saw, didn't we? Only 0.8 of a second separating them across the line. There's Herbertson. Herbertson trailing by 4.6 seconds from Paul Jordan across the line at Castletown Bypass. So he's got work to do if he wants to catch him. Evans and Sweeney, then Cummins holding on to that position after overtaking Barry Ferber on the previous lap, who goes past, as does Jamie Williams. Next to interview, that is Julian Trummer. And on the back of him is number 95, Eddie Wormold, who might be taking a bit of an interest later in the lap. Paul Cassidy. And then we've got John Marsh, Dave Rigby and Joey Lambden on the way through as well. Lambden looking to keep Rigby honest through cross four ways as well. So again, no change in the order. It is still Brown, Yeardsley, Hickman and Jordan. And it just a little bit, Mike Brown had just opened up a little bit on that lap. To you, Chris.
Well, he might have opened up with you, but he's back on him again. Joe Yeardsley has got that Spinarina.net GSXR 750 wound up, and he's in behind Mike Brown. But look to me like Paul Jordan is setting up Peter Hickman for a move. He's right behind the Swan Racing Triumph there now. Is Paul Jordan going to make a little bit of a move? He pulls to the right-hand side. Has PJ got it? Just over the rise there now. They're going to break. He has. Paul Jordan has made a move up to third place. He's set that up a long way back. Quickest lap of the race, a 2:18.073, and that goes to Mike Brown, 110.8 mile an hour, and Joe Yeardsley just looking there. I thought Joe was going to have a little bit of a look at going in the lead there now, but Joe doesn't make it happen. 110.811 for Brown, 110.69 for Yeardsley, 110.1 for Hickman, and 110.3 for Paul Jordan, who is now your third place rider. Herbertson, Evans, Sweeney, Cummins, Ferber and Williams complete the top 10. Lap 5 of 7 already, and Paul Jordan knows now he is running out of time to be able to catch the guys in front, Joe Yeardsley and of course Mike Brown, who leads this race by 0.243 of a second, but it's not over yet at all, is it? No, not whatsoever. So Brown leads by 0.243, then it's the second and a bit back to Hickman in third, then it's Jordan, as we said, we got down to 10, then Julian Trummer, Wormold, Cassidy, Marsh and Rigby, your top 15. Wow. Paul Jordan, oh, he's coming, he's catching up. Yeardsley and Brown, back to Rob.
Here is Brown leading across four ways, then Yeardsley, then it's Jordan, so he's held on to that third after making that pass on Peter Hickman, but that quartet of riders still relatively close together through cross four ways. Dominic Herbertson, bit of a lonely race for him at the moment. He's not catching the group in front, but he's pulled well clear of the three riders in behind here. Who's next through? It is Michael Evans still holding off Michael Sweeney, but Connor Cummins closing them down just a little bit through cross four ways this time. He's pulled away a little bit from Barry Ferber. Jamie Williams around half a second or so behind Ferber on the way through as well. Julian Trummer up next, who just seems to have shaken off Eddie Wormold just a tiny bit through cross four ways this time around. So Brown and Yeardsley, still very little between them as Cassidy makes his way through cross four ways, and Jordan still holding off the advance to Hickman. There's Marsh on the way through. Lambden looking up the inside of David Rigby here. Can he make it stick? To you, Chris.
The number 22 machine of Paul Jordan is, he's so wide on the exit of Castletown there. Here they come. as fast as you like across the line there now. Quickest man on track, Paul Jordan. He's making a move. 217.754, 111.068 for Paul Jordan. 215.8 is the lap record. So they're a couple of seconds off that at the moment. But this could be a three-way battle. They're on lap 67. As riders continue to go through the top three, just dropping Peter Hickman a little bit. He's back by half a second. The lead from Brown to Yeardsley is a quarter of a second. Then it's about the same back to Jordan. And then it's 0.6 back to Hickman. Then it's Herbison in fifth. Evans in 7th, Sweeney in, Evans in 6th, Sweeney in 7th, Cummins in 8th, Ferber in 9th, Jamie Williams 10th, then it's Julian Trummer in 11th, Eddie Wormold, Paul Cassidy all going through, or Cass will be the next runner through. That is the 13 runners who've had through so far as the leaders get in and out of Ballabeg. Nice and easy today. You've got to watch the bumps on the approach to that bit there. So the front four already through. Dominic Herbertson having a bit of a lonely ride in that 5th position on the number 2 machine. The 765 KTS Triumph, the factory racing bike. The 77 Pearson goes through, holding on to 17th place at the moment. Joey Lambert and Dave Rigby and John Marsh just ahead of them. But back we go to Williams, and Paul Jordan is starting to get on the back of Joe Yeardsley and Mike Brown. So the Macrofeld man, he's on his way, Rob.
They are indeed. It's getting to that point where if people are going to make their move, they're going to have to do it in the next few laps. It's Brown, Yeardsley, Jordan, Hickman. And yeah, you're right, Jordan straight on the back of Joe Yeardsley and Mike Brown through there. But Hickman still keeping an attendance there, just in case maybe. Just in case there's a slip-up or something, or an error somewhere, as Dominic Herbertson. As you mentioned, a pretty lonely race for him at the moment, completing the top 5. Herbertson has left his nearest challengers far behind. Here's the next trio on the way through. Michael Evans still holding off Michael Sweeney, but Connor Cummins closing in right behind now on the NLC machine. Then it's Barry Ferber, Jamie Williams. So no change in the order there across 4 ways on this, the penultimate lap. Julian Trummer and Eddie Wormold stretching away from the rest of the field in behind them as well. So Mike Brown still leading, but Yeardsley and now Jordan giving him company, and Peter Hickman just about 2 or 3 bike lengths behind as Paul Cassidy comes through, just staying in attendance for the time being. To you, Chris.
In and out of Castletown they come, and it's Mike Brown who leads, and it is last lap time. The front 3, they're past. The front 4 are now past. Quickest man on track is still Paul Jordan with a 217.754. Next rider, that's the triumph of Dominic Herbertson. Mike Brown leads, yeah, not much between them at all, about 282 again, roughly the same as the last lap, and Paul Jordan just inching a little bit closer to Joe Yeardsley, so that is what, 0.596 covers the top 3. Joe Yeardsley fans out to Mike Brown's left. Paul Jordan stays in the slipstream of Joe Yeardsley as he drops down Iron Gate into Iron Gate corner itself. The right-hander was Peter Hickman. We watched a Swan Racing triumph by PHR Performance Machine, the 765 bike, as he goes across there, that bright yellow machine, but it's the yellow plated number 4 that leads into Ballabeg for the last time here, going for the hat-trick of Supersport wins here at the Southern 100, the Steam Packet Southern 100 for 2026. And Paul Jordan and all the guys are already safely, the top 4 are safely through there at Ballabeg Hairpin. So it's Brown, Yeardsley, Jordan and Hickman, your top 4. As quick as I can say it, they have blasted through Ballawhetstone and heading to the final half of the circuit, basically opposite where we are now on the back of the course, heading through Williams and out to Williams, back into the sunshine. Joe Yeardsley's bike 12 gives a bit of a head shake as it goes over the top there. I'm going to drop down, it's all on the brakes in the cross 4 ways. Last lap, Rob.
They are indeed. It's last chance saloon. It's Joe Yeardsley looking up the inside, and Mike Brown here. Paul Jordan, he's got that. Joe Yeardsley as he held it as Hickman goes through. Jordan with a manoeuvre. Who's got it on the exit? I think Yeardsley's held it through cross 4 ways. Joe Yeardsley leads at cross 4 ways. It was ambitious. He was right on the limit there as Dominic Herbertson comes past in 5th there. And Peter Hickman, he just noticed, I think, that Paul Jordan and Mike Brown had to slow down as Yeardsley went through there. So both Jordan and Hickman trying to capitalise through cross 4 ways. But Joe Yeardsley led at cross 4 ways. Now it's on to Mike Brown, Paul Jordan, as Evans, Sweeney and Cummins come through cross 4 ways, and Ferber. It's up to the others in behind, but Joe Yeardsley looking to snatch this late on. To you, Chris.
What a move that was from Joe Yeardsley. They're into stadium for the final time. The massive crowd there by the Castletown Football Club. Joe Yeardsley holds that tight line, swings the bike from the right to the left-hand side. Paul Jordan sets up the Ducati, and now it is a drag race. Is Joe Yeardsley going to get a second win in the event? Across the line he goes! He does! Joe Yeardsley takes the race win. What a move into the corner there at cross 4 ways. It gives him the win. Wow, Joe Yeardsley wins by 4 thousandths of a second from Paul Jordan, with Mike Brown home in third, Peter Hickman home in fourth position, and that's Dominic Herbertson. Oh, Dominic up the inside of Mickey Evans into the Castletown corner as well, with Connor Cummins looking at picking up the pieces there. Here they come. Wow, that was close, wasn't it? Between 65 and 7 across the line. But it was Mick O'Sweeney who got the 6th place, and Mikey Evans and Connor Cummins. But Joe Yeardsley, after winning the twin race the other day, with that move up the inside, as the checkered flag is out, as a rider goes across the line, that's Julian Trummer. We're just seeing a replay of the move by Joe Yeardsley. How did he get that GSXR 750 stop? Absolutely incredible. As number 5, Paul Cassidy, comes home in 13th there. Julian Trummer and Eddie Wormwold waiting for him. He's not come across the line as of yet, as Eddie, unfortunately. John Marsh, David Rigby and Joey Lambden, they've all finished, but a win for Joe Yeardsley. What an end to the Bettridges of Foxdale Car Sales Supersport race. And it's Manxman Joe Yeardsley that takes the win by 0.049 of a second for Paul Jordan, who in turn had a 0.120 gap to Mike Brown. Incredible racing. Really, really good stuff, with Hickman home third, then Herbertson, Sweeney, as more riders continue to finish. There's Dan Pearson. Dan Pearson across the line, Nicholas Round and Andy Coulter. They're having a battle to come through to 18th and 19th, and Andrew Coulter got the better of that one. 72, Matthew Rostron and Adrian Hodson, they're all home safe in 21st position. But a win from Yeardsley, from Jordan, from Brown, from Hickman, from Herbertson, Sweeney, Evans, Cummins, Ferber, Jamie Williams completing your top 10. Then it's Julian Trummer, Paul Cassidy, John Marsh, David Rigby, Joey Lambden, Eddie Wormold, Dan Pearson, Andrew Coulter, Nick Round, Adrian Hodson, Matthew Rostron, Radley Hughes, and let's hear from our third place finisher is Mike Brown. He's with Beth.
He certainly is. And Mike, what a race. I mean, you looked like you had that in the bag. I mean, talk us through it from your point of view.
Yeah, look, I'm tired, but it was probably the most enjoyable race to be in. Just could not shake him off, and kind of, maybe when I couldn't shake him, I said I'll just back the pace up and see how we go. Definitely wasn't expecting to see him one in cross four ways, never mind two, but they both done me good, so it was a good race.
And you know what, another podium here for you. It's been a fantastic event so far.
Yeah, no, look, I'm delighted. Obviously, when you had a few wins on the 600, you won another one, but fair play to Joe and Paul. It was hot paced and it was a good race.
It really was brilliant to watch and listen to. Mike Brown, thank you so much. Paul Jordan. Goodness me, this is becoming the story of the meeting, isn't it? You were absolutely pushing it.
Yeah, I got in behind Pete, and I seen that the two boys weren't going away, so I says, right, just take a breath, try and just think about everything was going on, and then I said, right, I need to get by Pete, because I seen Joe and Mike were just pulling a wee bit of a gap, and then I pulled them straight back in again, and then I just sort of watched them for a bit. And to be honest, I did feel like I was stronger a lot of places, and then obviously Joe done the job, got into cross four ways, and I slipped through as well, and we came into the last road end there, and Joe sort of wheelied a little bit, so I come alongside him, and literally if we had 50 more yards, I'd have been past.
That's absolutely incredible. I mean, it's really not what you expect to see here just after you've had your lunch. Did you manage to have a good lunch?
I actually went to Mike's and had a ham and cheese sandwich.
Well, that's clearly what we all need to be eating. Paul Jordan, well done, is second place there. And we are now going to speak to Joe Yeardsley, who had that fantastic start, Joe. You were leading right at the beginning. 4 thousandths of a second in the end, you won that by.
Yeah, I still can't quite believe it's happened, to be honest. It's I normally stand here and talk a glass eye to sleep, but I'm lost for words for the first time ever. But yeah, a bit emotional, really. Last winter we went back to grassroots to buy our own bikes and didn't have any money. Friends, family, personal sponsor pulled together to buy 2 new bikes, which would give me the best opportunity to ride the best of my ability. And we still haven't even got spare engines. That's why I've only done the TT in here. I'm doing Armoy, and then that's it. That's all I can afford to do. But hopefully next year we can get a bit behind us to get a bit more, spare engines and stuff to hit it hard next year. But yeah, I'm honestly lost for words. Just want to say a big thanks for everyone that's helped me this year to get me these bikes. And just thanks so much.
I'm just intrigued at what point you thought I'm going to go for it.
Well, I was just surprised I could stay with them, but this is why down here you can follow the faster riders and learn. TT, you can't do that, I just get lost, where here you can just get a tow and was no point trying to overtake him at the start because I'd have gone slower. You know, I just thought if an opportunity arose, I'll have a pop, and I did, and managed to pull it off. So yeah.
I tell you, turning into here and seeing all your supporters and just how happy they are must mean so much.
Yeah, no, I just appreciate everyone, all the help and support, and I could hear Chris Palmer shouting from cross four ways to here, so yeah, I had to do something like.
You certainly did, Joe. Thank you very much. I don't think Chris Palmer's going to have any voice left at all. We are going to move on now to the podium for the Bettridges 600cc challenge race, and the presentation will be made by Peter Bettridge. And honestly, that was fast, fierce, and absolutely everything we expect from racing down here at Balaun. So a huge congratulations, completing the podium in third, Mike Brown. And second in this race, after a brilliant performance, Paul Jordan. And the boy from Laxey has done it again. Your winner for the Bettridges 600cc challenge race, Joe Yeardsley. I think that noise, Chris, says it all. What an incredible finish that was.
It was, Beth, and of course he will be getting himself in the square tonight at the presentation. The Bettridges of Foxdale, the winner, gets the Dan Neen Trophy. So that's quite apt that a Manxman has won that. The fastest lap for the Castletown Brewery Trophy, that'll go to Paul Jordan on that one with a 2:17.75. And the best newcomer will be Peter Hickman, who will win the Southern 100 Fans Cup.